Hello, and welcome to another episode of Digging a Little Deeper into English with Kirsten, where we will investigate what successful language learners have done in order to transform their communication and make that career change they were looking for. So, why don't you join me today? I am talking with my good friend Zeynep, who has been working with me for a little while in learning English. But I tell you, I have watched her English transform. And while her English transformed, her career had new opportunities. Anyway, enough from me. Let her tell you the story and be inspired as I am. Hi, Zeynep. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. Why don't you start by telling everyone a little bit about yourself?
Okay, hello Christine. Hello everyone. Thank you for your podcast.
Thank
And
you.
uh, firstly, I want to begin talking about myself. My
Mm,
name is Zeynep, and I'm 25 years old. I am based in Turkey. I was born in Istanbul, and also I live in Istanbul now. I have been a sales support engineer in an international company for 1 month. This company is based in Germany and I have an international team. Out of the work, I have some hobbies. For example, I'm a chorist in a polyphonic choir. We have a broad and dissimilar repertoire. We don't use any instrument. We use only a person's voice. In addition, I like walking near the seaside and doing reformer pilates.
wow. So I'm learning about you in this podcast. You're a chorist in a choir. I knew you sang, but I didn't know you were in a choir. That's really interesting. How long have you been doing that?
I have been in in a choir half and 1 year.
Excellent. Fantastic. Okay, so we're here to talk about English, and you're using English today. I'm glad we're doing this now because we'd done this a few months ago. It would be a different story. Can you tell me about how you use English today, or a little bit more about your English learning journey?
Okay, of course. I think the English learning journey will never end because I'm not a native English speaker. My mother tongue is Turkish, and I think there is no end to good English speaking. Best for whom? Best for what? However, it feels pretty good to be able to explain yourself to everyone. It's great to have a common word language and be able to speak the same things as someone miles away from you. For example, Christine is a native speaker. When I know her, she was living in Malaysia. I live in Turkey. And thanks to the English, we could understand each other.
Yes.
Today, at my current job, I have to use English because I work at a German engineering company and my company has nearly 3,000 workers around the world. And I'm responsible for Turkish customers, but our factory and headquarters at in Germany. Also, we have a technical team in Germany and I have a German line manager. Sometimes I feel so stressed, but after 2 or 3 months, I will feel more relaxed than now, I
Yeah.
think.
I am sure. I am sure. Um, yeah, cross-cultural communications can be really interesting, but I'm sure you'll get the hang of it really quickly. So, you obviously need to use English for work today. Did you need to use English for work in the past or for studying? And what difficulties did you encounter while you were trying to learn English?
Okay, I don't remember having difficulties with English when I was at university, but always speaking was my nightmare.
Yep.
Uh, yes, I always knew about this problem, but was afraid of making mistakes because I'm a perfectionist. and
Yeah.
I found myself in a loop where I was avoiding practice. But there came a time when I realized that the biggest obstacle in my career was speaking fluent English.
Mm.
And I met you
Mm.
just when I was questioning this.
Yes. I remember those conversations we had.
Yes.
I guess 6 months, more than 6 months ago now, when we first started talking about what is fluency and the difficulties. And yeah, that fear of speaking is such a big problem for so many people. I'm glad you recognized it and talked about that. So we talked about in our very first session, sorry, in the first conversation we had this, and you didn't start with me straight away, but we talked about some things that you could do to try and overcome those difficulties. Can you talk a little bit about the things that you used to do, um, things before you met me, things after you met me, what things you've tried in this journey?
Okay. The easiest way to be exposed to the language was through movies and TV series in English, but
Mm.
actually I didn't like watching them. So this so this became a problem for me.
Yeah.
There was no one around me that I could practice English, but I needed to speak fluent English to achieve my dream job. That's why I thought finding a business English coach would be the solution.
Yeah, I think your English has improved so quickly. I'm surprised at how quickly. It's excellent. Having that coaching helped you in that situation. You had a really nice framework to practice from, but that fear of speaking can hold you back a little bit. So now you're here, and your English is something you need to use all the time. Let's look back, or let you look back a little bit and try and help the people listening to get ideas on what they can try as well. So, could you talk about what things you think worked well for you and what didn't work well for you?
Um, Actually, firstly, thank you for your all supports
Ah,
and and regular repetition, exposure to the language, daily language studies, and listening to podcasts have been very beneficial for me. Luckily, Christine was guiding me in every way. Sometimes we had lessons based on listening, sometimes writing, but mostly speaking. I felt that I was getting better every day with the homework she gave me. Am I perfect now? Never, but I know that I don't have to be perfect, and
no.
one day I will reach the level I want to reach. It is up to my will and my effort.
Hmm. I just want to ask a quick question. You said you didn't like watching movies and TV series, and I prefer people not to watch movies and TV series. And the reason for that is that you get a lot of the information through visual. So you can see what's happening. And if you don't understand what they're saying, you can kind of work it out anyway. It doesn't force you to focus on the language. I'm not discouraging watching movies and TV shows, but it's not, in my opinion, the best way to focus your English learning. And I often talk about podcasts. And you've mentioned here that you were using listening, or maybe still are, listening to podcasts to focus your energy on the language. You can't see anything, so you have to listen. Do you enjoy listening to podcasts?
Yes, actually, I enjoy because in movies and TV series, I can't understand all of the topic
Hmm.
and your language and their language, and I can't enjoy. But
Mm.
listening podcasts is very beneficial for me because I am only focused this speaking.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite one? Is there a favorite podcast that you like to listen to?
Yes, of course, but I have to check my list and
Okay,
this. Uh,
that's all right. I just wondered whether it was along the lines of the BBC English 6 minute learning English podcast. It's short, it's a nice level, um, and it's on current affairs. So I was just wondering if that would be something that is more interesting to you than movies or TV series, something a bit more realistic. That's okay. So just again, still thinking about the journey in English, learning English. What do you wish you knew about learning English a while ago, as it would have changed the way you learn English? And how has learning English affected your career? You talked about getting this new job. So, yeah, what do you wish you knew then?
I was very worried about speaking English in my job interview, but I also told them about my adventure of learning English. Everyone was very understanding and encouraged me, but I wish I had realized some things earlier, so I wasn't stressing it out in my 20s.
Mm, excellent. So you wish you knew that speaking wasn't so scary. Excellent. That's really good. I have to say, um, the transformation that you have gone through in the last 6 to 12 months is pretty big. So you've become a lot more confident in speaking English. The first time I spoke to you about talking on this podcast, you were very nervous. And the last time I asked you, you're like, yeah, let's do it. That was excellent. It was such a transformation. But not only has that transformation been in your English, but in your career. You, I met you before your job interview for your current job, um, and I watch you now, having done the interview, and you've started in this international company. You will be traveling internationally as part of your role and speaking only English. Um, and I see the confidence. I see the confidence, and it's so impressive. So, you know that my ultimate aim is to get everyone to have that transformation. So, what tips can you give people listening to this that are on the learning English for their job journey? What do you want to tell them?
No matter what field you want to progress in, it is much easier to find world literature in English and English resources. It is necessary for a person who wants to improve yourself to know English. But if we talk specifically about the mining industry, I think that working in a global environment will add a lot of different visions to the person. One should get out of the comfort zone.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
and working abroad or in a global company is only possible with fluent and understandable English, I think.
Yes, I could not agree with you anymore. I think you're a really good example of what you can do if you put your mind to it and a little bit of hard work. I don't think it's been that hard, has it, the last 6 months or so of work for the rewards that you're getting? Um, yeah, people will never really understand how much their work to change. So thank you a lot today, Zeynep, for sharing your personal journey with me. And best of luck in your career going forward. I'm sure it will only be strength to strength.
You're welcome, Kristin. Also, thank you for giving me this chance for this
Ah,
podcast.
thank
Thank
you.
you for your all support.
Anytime. You know, I'm here day or night. Well, that's it for our interview today. To download a transcript of the audio, click the link below. You'll find it in the show notes. Don't forget, if you want to be notified when the next great interview with successful non-native English professionals in the mining industry is released, click subscribe on your preferred podcast platform. And if you are ready to take control of your English, transform your communication skills, and see that payback in your career, then shoot me an email at ksdsmith@gmail.com or visit me on LinkedIn. The links are again below in the show notes. Until the next episode, take care and keep on digging.